Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're talking about the 4 best stockbrokers for Canada. So if you're looking to get started investing in stocks or ETFs or mutual funds, or even bonds for that matter, it's really essential that you find the correct stockbroker for your needs. Depending on if you're looking for low risk, high risk, frequent trading, very rare trading, small amounts or large amounts, different brokers fit different needs. And you want to find the right one for you to make sure that you're not wasting money on fees, you're not wasting money on commissions, and you're able to have all the tools you need to find the success you're looking for and see the growth with your money so that your money can start earning money for you and you'll be set up for retirement or whatever else you might be saving and investing for. Now, with that being said, we have 4 in this video, the 4 best stockbrokers that we recommend. Now, of course, all of these in this video are IIROC and CIPF regulated and protected. So as far as security goes, you should be safe using any one of these. Now, enough of the intro there. Getting into this, number 1, our first recommendation and our top recommendation actually is Questrade. Now, Questrade is one that is really growing in popularity. A lot of Canadians love using this, and for good reason. It'll be very obvious in a second why we like this one over a lot of the other ones on this list. But in general, there is a lot of flexibility and a lot of features available with this. And so by flexibility, I mean you can use your phone, so there's a mobile app, or you can use your desktop, laptop, whatever you might want, and you're able to do that. And on top of that, there are actually 2 different services offered. One of them is called Questwealth Portfolios, and the second one is called Self-Directed Investing. So Questwealth Portfolios, getting into that a little bit, this one's going to be for anybody that wants to invest and be as hands-off as possible. If you're intimidated or you don't want to do the research, because, I mean, let's be honest, if you're a beginner, it is a lot easier just to have a robo-investor find the stocks for you and manage your portfolio automatically. Of course, it comes at a cost. You're going to pay a management fee there, but the management fees with Questrade are actually relatively low. We found that you're looking at 0.2 to 0.25% for the management fee. And then, of course, on top of that, it is investing in ETFs, so you will have another small fee on top of that, between 0.17% and 0.22%, and that's going to be your expense ratio. But still, combine the two, and you're still looking at a very low fee to have your money pretty much entirely autonomous, so you can just deposit money in there and have it go and start earning for you. So that's a huge benefit right there of using the Questwealth portfolios. Of course, there are benefits to using these self-directed investing as well, and I'll talk about that in a second. And then one other thing I want to point out with Questwealth portfolios is that they do also have free tax loss harvesting. So another benefit there. But let's say that you don't want the automation. Say you want to actually do the investing yourself, pick the stocks, and really be a little bit more hands-on. Then the alternative option within Questrade is actually Questrade self-directed investing. And just like it sounds, this is going to allow you to buy and sell stocks or ETFs or whatever you might want. And it's a lot more hands-on. So no robo-investor here or robo-advisor here. Instead, you're going to be doing everything yourself. Now, we'll get into the fees in a second, but I first want to point out that this does not have an annual fee. It does not have any kind of percent management fee as we saw with the robo-advisor. Instead, this one doesn't have any of that. They're going to be charging commissions based on each trade. Now, some other fees with here, when you're actually doing the trading, the commissions you're going to be seeing do vary based on what you're buying. So stocks, ETFs, options are all going to be slightly different. So as you see right here, it says 1 cent per share. I think that's a little bit misleading for stocks because really what it is as low as $4.95 or as high as $9.95. So really the 1 cent per share only matters for the 500 shares between number $4.95 and number $9.95. But in general, so if you buy 1 share, it's not going to be 1 cent. They end up rounding that up to $4.95. And if you buy more than 995 shares, again, they round that down to $9.95. But the good thing here is anybody buying a lower quantity of shares, they are going to be saving money here because a lot of the other brokers out there are charging a flat rate of like $10 per trade. So it's definitely good that you're saving money here. Now, if you're looking at ETFs, you are able to buy for free, which is great. But of course, you're going to see the same fee schedule when you're selling it, anywhere from $4.95 up to $9.95, depending on how many shares you ended up selling. Then, of course, with options, you're looking at $9.95 plus $1 per contract. So again, that could get kind of pricey depending on what contracts you're buying and how many you're buying. And of course, if you scroll down, there are different fees for different things you're buying. So I'll put a link to this page as well. So you can check out, say if you want to buy bonds or international equities, there's going to be different fees for different things you're buying. But again, that's going to be an advantage for Questrade where you're looking at the lower fees for stock buying and selling, as well as with ETFs. And so depending on what you're buying, you are looking at some variation there. Some other things to note is that you do have that $1,000 minimum deposit here. That is unfortunate for anybody looking to get started with a lower amount of money. You're not able to here, and you're probably going to want to look at number 2 on this list, which we will get to in just a second. Setting up an account is very easy. I believe you just need your SIN and your driver's license, and then maybe a little bit of information about yourself as well. And within a couple minutes, your account should be up and running. Very, very easy to do. And there are quite a few account types you can have as well. So besides what I mentioned before, you also have the option for a margin for a tax-free savings account or TFSA. You also have registered retirement savings plan, RRSP, forex and CFDs, and of course you have some more options as well. So plenty of diversity here, plenty of options to really invest in different directions, which is why we thought this made it Questrade a very clear number 1 on our list. Oh, and one other huge benefit here, which really put it ahead on number 1, is that you are able to hold US dollars in your account, which means that if you have a US stock, so if I go and I buy a US stock, you're going to pay that forex fee when you first buy that. But if I then want to have another US stock, I want to sell the first one and buy a second one, rather than paying that forex fee when I sell and then when I buy again, I'm able to hold US dollars in the account and then just directly go into the next share. So if you're looking to do a lot of trading and you think over time you might want to jump between different US stocks, that is a huge advantage of Questrade. So with that being said, that brings us into number 2. If the $1,000 account balance minimum was too much for you, then number 2 is going to be a fantastic option here. And again, we have 2 options. We have a robo-advisor and a self-guided trading as well. So I'm going to make this like number 2 and then kind of number 2.5, because they are kind of 2 different pieces of software, but they are both owned by Wealthsimple. So the first one is just simply called Wealthsimple, which is going to be the robo-advisor, similar to what we saw before with Questwealth. So it's a robo-advisor that manages your portfolio for you based on your risk tolerance, based on what your goals are, and you do actually have access to human advisors as well if you have questions or you need to do anything like that. And similar to what we saw with Questwealth, both of these do have the option to buy socially responsible investments, or SRIs, which is essentially an ETF, which focuses on some more socially responsible things, as the name suggests. Wealthsimple also has a desktop and a mobile version as well, which is a big benefit. There are no account minimums, which is really nice for anybody looking to get started off, but you are looking at a slightly higher fee. The management fee here is around 0.5% versus 0.25%, which we saw with Questwealth. So that's the cost of using this one. And that's pretty much everything I wanted to say about regular Wealthsimple, the robo-advisor. It's relatively similar to Questwealth, except you don't have that minimum deposit and you do have a slightly higher fee, but not a whole lot exciting here. What is really exciting is, I'm calling it number 2.5 because it's also Wealthsimple, but this is called Wealthsimple Trade, a slightly different piece of software here. And this one is very interesting and very unique because, as far as I'm aware, this is the only broker in Canada that has no commission. So they don't charge any commissions for stock trades, unlike so many other ones out there that charge $5, $7, $10. This one is kind of following the trend of what we're seeing a lot in the United States with Robinhood and Public and Webull and a lot of other apps like that, which do the commission-free trading. Here we're seeing Wealthsimple Trade is allowing you to do essentially the same concept of trading without paying those commissions. Again, you don't have a minimum deposit here either. You don't have those fees. They don't necessarily have the best support out there, but there are plenty of benefits here on the app. Now, I mentioned on the app because this one, a drawback here is that they're kind of just available on your phone right now. They're mostly just an app. There is a desktop version. It's in beta right now, so it's not really out, but it's coming out and it should be out soon. And again, we're seeing a lot of more functionality added to this, not just with the desktop version, but also originally you just had a regular account, but now you also have the options for TFSAs and RRSPs if you're looking for those tax sheltered accounts. And so they're kind of just showing that, I mean, Wealthsimple Trade here is really a rapidly growing platform. And of course, they're adding more to there. So not only is there a bigger user base now and rapidly expanding user base, but also a lot of functionality and a lot of features being added. I think that this one is a really solid number 2 here. And over time, if we made this video in, say, a year, I wouldn't be surprised if this made its way up to number 1 on the list. That brings us into number 3, which is TD Direct. Now, TD, like the bank, is the one that owns this, and this is directly tied into that. So you have some great integration and a lot of convenience here, as the name obviously suggests. But of course, there are some downsides as well that we'll mention in a second. This one is, as they claim to be, one of Canada's first discount brokerages. prices, but don't be fooled by the word discount. This actually has a much higher commission than we're seeing on a lot of the other ones. You're looking at, on standard, $10 per trade, so that's definitely very high. But if you're what they call an active trader, meaning you trade more than 150 times per quarter, then they do bump that down to $7, a flat $7 per trade. And so that could be a benefit there. If you're looking at $7 per trade versus Questrade in larger quantities is going to be, you're looking at $10 per trade if you're using more than 1,000 shares. But if you're trading 1,000 shares 150 times per month, it seems like you might be finding a better option elsewhere anyway. Now, some other things to mention with this. This does have free mutual fund purchases, so you don't have to worry about that, but there are going to be plenty of fees buried in the mutual funds, management fees and stuff like that TD Direct is going to collect, and that's how they make their money there, and that's how they make these free. But overall, TD Direct is easy to use, and it is very convenient, so it was worthy of a spot on this list. And that brings us into number 4 on this list, which is actually Scotia iTrade, obviously related to the bank there as well. And Scotia iTrade does have a really big advantage here of having free ETF trades. So you don't have to pay the commission for ETFs, which is a big benefit here. Although if you end up using this one, I would really only recommend it if you're interested in ETF trades, because if you're looking to do stock trades, it is going to be a little bit more expensive as well. Actually a lot more expensive, among the most expensive for commissions for regular stock trades. We do, again, have a lot of flexibility here as well. So you have a really good app, a really good program to use this with, and you have plenty of account types as well. So you can do a TFSA, RRSP, RRIF, RESP, a US dollar registered account, and for non-registered accounts, you can also trade on margin as well. So plenty of other options for how you can set up your account for different, whatever your needs are with related to taxes and margin, whatever you might be looking for, you really have quite a bit of flexibility here as well. And of course, you can trade options, bonds, stocks, ETFs, mutual funds, like the whole list of anything you want to invest in. It's all going to be here, which is why Scotia iTrade is, pretty popular. Of course, it's not going to be one of the little fintech apps that are becoming more and more popular, but it has a lot right now. It's well established, and it is something that a lot of people are using. So, guys, those are the 4 best stockbrokers that we recommend if you're in Canada. Of course, you guys can leave a comment below if you've used any of these, if you have any comments on them, anything you liked or didn't like, or maybe if you just have some questions. We'll try to answer as many as we possibly can. And if you enjoyed this video, as always, consider liking and subscribing. I'm Mike O'Brien from The Dollar Guide. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.